A lot of y'all have been asking for my opinion on Us. Us is one of the most divisive movies in recent memory. And unlike other movies that are divisive, like Batman vs Superman and Last Jedi, I think Us has a legitimate argument of being a good, if not great, movie. People fall all over the spectrum for this movie, and I can't blame them. I find myself changing my opinion from moment to moment, and I just figured out why. Us is trying to be two different movies. In 2017, Get Out was nominated for Best Comedy at the Golden Globes. Now, as we all know, the Golden Globes can be a little goofy. Remember when The Tourist was nominated for Best Comedy? There was a lot of outrage, specifically from Jordan Peele, who felt as if Get Out was being marginalized by being considered a comedy. Now, I certainly wouldn't classify it specifically as a comedy, but with moments like,
how you find me?
I'm T.S. motherfucking A. We handle shit. That's what we do.
and
Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was eating the shit out of niggas' heads, okay? But that was after he fucked the heads. Do you think they saw that shit coming? Hell no. Okay? They was coming over there like, oh, I guess I'm gonna just suck a little dick, maybe jiggle some balls and shit. No, they didn't get a chance to jiggle shit because their head was off their fucking body. Yeah, they still sucked the dick, but without their heads. It was fucking weird, detached head shit. You know, that's Jeffrey Dahmer business.
And thanks for that image right there, man.
I really didn't think Jordan Peele should have been upset by it. He wrote a movie that was intentionally funny. Little Rel said, there's nothing funny about racism.
Hey, boys, look what I got here. Hey, where are the white women at?
Mel Brooks would disagree. And so would Jordan Peele.
Next week on Survivor. At this point in the game, each team is down to 3 players. Except for you, Team Burrito. You're up to 17.
Oh, Dios mío!
Make that 18.
It's my great-grandson!
Our next challenge is for reward. To win, you're gonna have to swim 200 yards out into the ocean.
Come on, man. That's like the 8th swimming challenge, dog. When we gonna have a basketball challenge?
You could say he's made a career off finding human racism. Part of making fun of something is to contextualize it. Humor also can help people suspend their disbelief. When Chris or Rod act the way the audience would in a situation, it makes us as an audience buy into it more. Humor and tension go hand in hand. But there is a fucking limit. Get Out is a movie that's hard to nail down the tone, which is a good thing. It's a testament of how good a movie it is. Us is a fucking horror comedy. I don't give a shit what Jordan Peele says. Death of the author. And that's not a bad thing. Horror comedies are my favorite genre. I get that Jordan Peele doesn't want to be associated with comedy, and he wants to be taken seriously as a talent, but the product speaks for itself. Or at the very least, if he doesn't want his movies to be called comedies, quit making comedies. And there's nothing dismissive about calling a movie a comedy. I've referenced Blazing Saddles for a reason. That movie has so much to say about racism, but it's still hilarious. Ultimately, I have 2 problems with the comedy in Us. First, I don't think the movie is very funny. I laughed out loud several times, but I groaned more times than not. Second, and more importantly, the humor felt tonally out of place. In what should really be tense moments, there were jokes. Not moments of humor, but jokes. Get Out had humorous moments, but very few jokes. The humor came from the absurdity of the situation and racism. The humor in Us is, hey, isn't this boat a piece of crap, and isn't the dad so excited about it? I want to call it modern family level humor, but that would be too kind. There's a joke where Elizabeth Moss's character calls for the police, and this Alexa type device starts playing Fuck the Police by NWA. Putting aside that this is incredibly unbelievable because this would be a major programming flaw. What should be a really tense scene is now played for laughs as characters move through a house with murderous clones on the loose as NWA is playing in the background. The joke is also completely unnecessary because the police are written out of the movie. Using pop culture songs against graphic violence, where have I seen that before?
Fuck this! Hey, 2 seconds!
That's not to say that all the humor in the movie doesn't work. The dad trying to initiate sex with Lupita's character in the ensuing conversation was hilarious. There's a scene with the two girls from the White family who are just doing somersaults the whole time that was very creepy and funny. I wish it was more of that dark humor that was more in line with the overall tone of the film. There's also nothing wrong with characters making jokes during a tense moment to try to relieve some of the tension, but that's not what the comedy was in this movie. At times it was very broad and took me completely out the movie. In a 10-minute span, we get the brutal murder of a family, an NWA joke, creepy moments with the tethered, including self-mutilation, more murder, a joke where the family sits down at the dinner table as if nothing is wrong, exposition, and then a funny conversation about who's going to drive, sandwich between two more deaths. This wouldn't be an odd tone for, say, Evil Dead, but for a pure horror movie, it's a bit of a whiplash. If you're going to shoehorn jokes into a movie, make them funny. The movie doesn't know if it wants to be a cerebral, smart horror movie or a crowd pleaser, and the two are at odds each other more than the characters in the movie. None of the main characters die, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just paired with the humorous turn, it ruined a lot of tension for me. I never felt as if they were in any danger. Having a monologue that explains the villain's motivation in the plot of the movie at the end works fine for a popcorn horror movie, but feels lazy and something trying to aspire to more. Even worse is that the monologue is completely unnecessary. Due to some great direction from Jordan Peele, you get all the information that's being told to you off the visuals alone. Jordan Peele needs to trust himself as a director to convey the information in a more clever way. One defense of the monologue is that it's for people who are a little less observant so they won't be confused, except they be confused anyway because this movie makes no damn sense. Where'd they get the clothes from? Who's feeding the rabbits? Where'd the scissors come from? The conceit of the movie only works if the tethers are metaphorical, but Peele explains too much to allow them to be metaphor. If you explain one thing thoroughly, you have to explain everything thoroughly. This definitely need to be something that's supernatural because as it is, the ending is a mess, and even people who like the movie would tend to agree with me. The movie has me on both sides of the fence on the flaws too. On one hand, the twist at the end adds nothing to the movie and even weakens the already flimsy internal logic. On the other hand, her smile at the end of the movie is so chilling. The 500 rendition is beautiful and creepy, and I'm always up for rap culture being used as high art. But then again, 500 has nothing to fucking do with the theme of the movie. Usually a pop song in the climax has something to do with the movie, not 500. They weren't even smart enough to use It Takes Two. Before I sound too negative, everybody on the planet needs to see this movie. It's so incredibly thought-provoking. I have not stopped thinking about it since I left. It's fascinating, and Jordan Peele is an absolute force of a talent in Hollywood. I can't wait to see Us again on the home market. If this is the floor for Jordan Peele, we're in for a lot of great movies.